Stan, here we are with our stick, and this is my collection of West German helmets. So the history behind it, these helmets, I think immediately post-war there were certain things out the army used, the US M1, but they quickly developed their own West German M1. I did read something that was called the M56, but I mean that could be getting confused with the East German ones. Anyway, the first West German combat helmet was produced since the end of World War II, West German M1, and it was made by the company that made them. It was F.W. Quist, company of Elsiglagen. So it was exactly the same as the American M1 with a double liner, a liner within a liner. I only have one M1 as a comparison. This is a 1960s one, but for those who do know or don't know, helmet liner within a helmet liner, plastic helmet in a helmet liner. So that's exactly what the West German was in one initially. The only exception to this was the Bundeswehr, and the BGS, March 1951, and they were organised primarily to protect the West German borders. Some of the East Germans said they were a reincarnation of the old SS because they were a bit keen on keeping. They were very efficient what they did, apparently. I read that in an article. So it was a paramilitary force that wore. They did actually start wearing the old M35, M40 and M42 helmets of World War II. They wore refurbed ones that relined or repainted, but they did end up making a new version of the style helm. The M40/53 had no rivets or vent holes. And I did actually notice something when I was looking on this article, that their water bottles, some of them were made in the 1950s and they're exactly the same as the World War II ones. Well, there's a scary thought. You know, the felt covered, well, know what they look like. Exactly the same as them. Now, they did use a lot of World War II equipment, and the uniforms, if not exactly World War II, very similar. You can see pictures off the internet. I think they carried on being equipped like that till the late 50s, early 60s. I'm unsure about the dates. Now, one article I read said that the reason they wanted the BGS, or the Bundesgrenzschutz, to be dressed like World War II soldiers, for want of a better word, is so that the Russians would know that they see an M35 helmet, not one of these. It's just the border guards and not a build-up of invasion troops. I don't know about that, because I would imagine that if they were going to do something, if they thought that, they might just get their army dressed up in M35s just to fool them, if you understand. It might have been a way of the West Germans sticking their fingers up at the Russians. I'm not sure about that, but that was the situation. But a bit worrying about the water bottles that looked exactly like World War II ones. That's one I didn't realise. So anyway, so for the army, military forces, and not the border guards, the M60 helmet. Well, this was the second helmet, that one. The liner, similar to World War II German, 4 rivets with cork spacers. The chin strap was attached directly to the helmet with a quick release clasp, which we'll have a look at. There was covers available with them. Now, all these helmets are slightly different in size to the American ones, because there was no need for them to be a little bit bigger, because it's not a liner within a helmet. So this is my M60, not in steel helmet stand size. It did have a load of white paint on it, which I managed to get off with a bit of oil. There's still a little trace there, but you can see there that the 4 rivets. Is it 4 rivets or 5? Excuse me while I look. I've got 4 rivets there. 1, 2. Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah, maybe 4 rivets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now there's something I didn't realise. That is attached directly to the helmet. Could be because this chin strap as well is brown rather than green, so it might have been modified in some way. Yeah, didn't realise that. That's got 6 rivets on there. I'm not sure if that should have that one on there, but that is an M60 helmet, and I don't think, I haven't checked any if there is any date, to be fair. I couldn't see one. Yeah, but that's the M60 helmet, not in my size, but very similar to the M62, which we'll get to next. So the M62 helmet has an improved liner system, or improved liner, and it had like a plastic cradle which is inside, held by a single brass bolt. The helmet again was smaller because of the fact that it didn't need a liner inside or another plastic helmet. So these two here, that's got 1964 dated liner but no date in the pot, and that's 1964 dated helmet with a 60'3" liner, I think. I've seen it on ballistic tests on the internet. It stood up well, but did 1 9mm round cracked it. I think that one's been shot with a 9mm round. So there was, after this, an M62 modified, and it had an improved cradle with 3-chin point strap, and that was carried out in the early 1980s. I've seen people on YouTube say that they're airborne. They're not, because there was an airborne, the M71 airborne helmet, that the liner was influenced by earlier airborne helmets, but the 3-chin point strap has exactly the same rivets as the German M38 World War II one, the big bolts with 2 holes in them for tightening up. So that's how you know they're an airborne one. I'm quite unsure about those liners, like the rivet on there. It said 4 on the book. So yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Thing get modified and mucked around with. We'll go to this one first. This is my first M62. I bought from those great people sent to Britain Army Surplus. No, I did not shoot it. Thank you very much. I haven't got the ability to shoot anything. I don't own any live fire and firearms before anyone starts. He sold it as just dented. When I got it, probably a 9mm round hit that. It's hit that and maybe skitched off that way, or it took 2 shots. It also had been shot here at the back there. You see the bulge? It had been shot in the back, and it had damaged the liner, so I had to fix that myself. You can see in the bottom there, there's a brass bolt attachment for screwing this plastic liner. You get your hand right there into place. There's instructions in there, and the date of the helmet is down there. There you go, 9th 1964. And yeah, that might just be an M62 liner attachment on there, possibly. You can see it's a nice compact helmet. I'm quite pleased with that. Battle damage, probably not. Someone's probably just stuck it on a fence post at an airbase or something, took a pot shot at it. So I'll move the M60 up there, and we'll have a look at the other M62 I just bought. I mean, these helmets now, I'm getting harder to find, but when they pop up, I'll try and go for them. I got this one fairly cheap, I think 30 quid, £25. Can't remember, it wasn't a great deal. They do go for more than that. See the inside there, and you can see the brass is a little bit scuffed on the bolt head there, because it was already a bit like that when I got it, but I tried to, the liner's just a little bit loose. When I tried to tighten it right up, it sort of cracked and went again. I think the brass has been maybe put on cross-threaded, and it won't tighten up properly. So I've tightened up as much as I dare, and I've left it. No instructions in this, no date stamp that I can find. It is steel helmet stand size, massive. The difference between the two, we'll hold them up together, is the more recent one I've just bought. It's not as shiny, it has more of that sawdust paint, like the World War II American helmets. Don't know why that is, and I don't know which one is the oldest one. I mean, the liner says 1964, but that could have been modified at any time. Chin strap with a quick release clasp there, like I said. This one was full of sand. Like literally, we turned it over, there was just sand falling out everywhere, and that's why I took the liner out. I cleaned it all out. Could have been sand from its days in the Bundeswehr, or someone airsofting with it, or something like that. But yeah, that's, as you can see there, that's probably where the bolt head is under there, where it's sort of cracked a little bit, and it's quite obvious on the other one that is not covered with any paint. So there you go. Video time. Quick videos there of my East German first. Hopefully that'll come up first, and West German helmets. Right, that's it, I think. Yeah, so just to recap, the adopted, I mean, the modified one from the 1980s, which is basically, I mean, I think they were just older shells with new chin straps. They were used right until the Germans took on a sort of Kevlar helmet. So that was the last steel helmet the Germans ever used, the West Germans ever used. So that's, these helmets will have been facing the M56s, looking at each other through a pair of binoculars. So that's your M62 with bullet damage. M62 with heavier sawdusty type paint. Don't know which one's the earliest. And the bit in the distance, the M60. So yeah, that's it. They're my West German helmets. So that's it. Yeah, talked for long enough. So this is Stan, and I'll see you.